uh, nobody, or at least me and you both, didn't get to watch the race last Monday because it rained out and got ran over.
Well, I'll be totally honest. I just don't watch it much anymore, anyways, just because it's on. I mean, it's on Sundays, and I'm, at church, and I miss it now. Most of the time, it's end up in, it's either if they race around 12 or something like that, I catch it. But my thing is like if you can get away from all the extra stuff along with NASCAR, like if you took away the partying and the and we're looking at this like Talladega. By the way, welcome back to this is episode 2 of Dad Pod. God bless. I hope everybody's having a
second official going to be uploaded.
This is second official video. Yeah,
episode.
This is like
we've got like 10 or 11 or so, but
we've got 2
posted. Second one.
We're gonna have 2 posted. So today's topic, and I've got it labeled on here today, anyways, for Dad Pod is Sunday afternoons. And something I always did on my Sundays afternoons after we got back from church as kids and stuff. Mind you, my dad was not in church, but every time we come back Sunday afternoons, he always had NASCAR going, and I was always a huge fan of, and it's the fast cars.
Right.
I like the fast cars. That was what I was about. I was born in '95, so it wasn't long after I was born that Dale Sr. died. So I caught the tail end of the real racing before it turned into like, hey, you can race, but only if everybody goes the same mile an hour and doesn't push each other. I'm gonna tell you right now, if we're racing and I want in first place, now I'm not dirty, but like Dale Sr., the way he raced, I'm the same way. I mean, I'll put you in the wall if I have to take
There's
first place for a race.
To have racing fun to watch, there's got to be some element of dirtiness there.
Something. I mean, it's like with boxing, like you can't throw elbows. You ain't supposed to. But I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally elbowed somebody throwing a hook. I didn't put quotations around that.
I did.
I know you did, but I didn't. I didn't put quotations around that.
You wouldn't, because you're the competitor in the ring.
Yeah.
Why would you ever admit to it?
Well, and that's the thing. They all have. It's just it's a set of rules they're trying to do. I get you look out for the safety of people too. You look out for the safety of the racers and stuff too. But like, what you're signing up for. You're going 200 miles an hour in a fishbowl.
Well,
sometimes they're triangle.
That's my thing. Yeah, well, one.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, then Watkins Glen looks like my wife's trail in Walmart.
Poking as a triangle is literally the only track guy. Come on. I mean, I don't know. Like Las Vegas, I guess is kind of triangular, but not as pronounced. It's got a bow in it.
Sorry, they're tri-ovals.
There you go.
Which I don't even. Anyways,
don't try to get too far.
I'm not.
We both are not good at math and geometry. But I'm good at.
I can put the square hole in the square hole, but that same one will go in the circle.
The square
hole
will go in the circle with a big enough
you
hammer.
See what I'm saying? But you can still get those shapes in there. It just may not look right.
I don't know, man. Right. But yeah, you did. I'm not much older than you by any means, but we both grew up watching it whenever Dale and Gordon were still a big thing, and Rusty Wallace and all the big dogs that were there that wanted to race, that were going to do something dirty if it meant them winning, or if you made them mad, they were going to do something dirty to take you out regardless of what it did to their car. 2001, obviously losing Dale, we lost a lot of that competitiveness with him dying. And then it moves into, Junior became the guy. You saw some safety regulations start getting put in place, which needed to be.
Yeah,
the
they
Hans
always
device and everything else needed to be there.
Right, it did, but granted, they still had. He was supposed to wear.
He had it. He had a 5-point harness. Just in those old cars,
it was just
you didn't have anything to keep your neck from moving.
No, they just didn't want you to be ejected. That was the only thing.
He wore that old half helmet with the bubble goggles and everything else.
You can't smoke cigarettes in a full face.
I mean, you can.
Just
got to really kind of get the angle right.
Yeah, he couldn't get that Marlboro in there in that full face, man.
But,
I don't know. I can't even remember if he smoked or not.
I'm sure he did.
I don't doubt it. All of them did. Like.
He was 51 years old when he died. He grew up back in the day when it was still considered healthy to smoke.
So, it's just that era, though. Like, you can smell the pictures from back then.
You look at it, it's like, this got tar.
I can smell, like, that picture's yellow.
That's got tar and nicotine all over it.
It's got, like, the yellow buildup is on that picture.
Right, absolutely. Don't touch it. Your fingerprint will stay.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But, no, that's the thing, though, is like, whenever he raced, it's the way he had his 5-part harness, they said, especially at the super speedways, Talladega, Daytona, that he didn't tighten the right side down because he drove with the big bus or the bus style steering wheel. He wanted to be able to wrench into the corner and really get it in there, so he was not secured as he should have been.
No, and he had that. You got to think he had that massive wheel right there
That's
in
what I'm
front of him.
saying.
So I mean, he didn't have anywhere to go. The only thing he had to move was his neck.
Yeah, and it
And
moved
when you look at
violently whenever he hit the wall.
it, did. And I've heard people talk about it too. And I've watched that wreck 100 times too. But it was not like I've seen wrecks that those guys shouldn't have walked out of. Whereas Dale, the thing was, it's just by chance. It's the way it happened.
Because you look at the ones that had happened the season before. And people got up, walked away from it. Ones that have tumbled multiple times through Talladega, hit the wall, whatever else.
Cars
Edwards. Being shredded to pieces. And just simply into the wall.
Yeah, and it's the angle and whatnot. It looked like that he took too. I mean, he was still running like 180.
You think over his entire career, back in the day, back before the 80s and stuff, where they started putting the restrictor plates into them, they went to these big tracks. How many times was he taking that exact shot?
Oh man, probably 100 times, at least 4 times.
Yeah, it's probably happened to him at least once a year. Same
thing.
That's
what I was trying to think.
You get done, you're like, oh, my neck hurts, my shoulders are sore, and he just goes on about his day, and then we're back doing it next weekend. But that one time, it's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Just by my thing, I can tell you now. I just think it was Dale's time to go. God was.
Yeah, absolutely.
God was,
if it was like,
I'm not going to say he was a God. I'm not going to say he was a believer in God, but God imminently decides when it's your time, anyways.
Right.
And I believe it was Dale's time, man.
I don't believe he would have picked any other way to go out.
No, I don't. But I feel like too. If he, who's to say though? Him getting right with God might have pulled him out of.
Yeah.
Might have. That may not have ever happened, but we wouldn't have had Dale Senior at, a NASCAR either.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I would rather him had found God though too. But that's one thing I just like to hit it at all angles, because while that was something I love, it's hard to enjoy those things when all the negative that impacts your life that comes along with whether you're involved in it as a racer or you're involved in it as a fan. Because when any time, and it's I grew up, I never missed, just like you. We both went to probably twice a year every Talladega race for. I know I went for 19 years going.
I hadn't missed a Talladega race. Oh God. Up until probably 2019 or so, probably. It better have for 15 years or so.
Yeah, and I when you talk about going to Talladega, or you talk about going, I mean, if we were in Atlanta and we was like, yeah, we're going to Atlanta, we'd sound just like we do here, talking about we're going to Dega, blah blah blah.
Right.
Because that's what people instantly think. That's like they forget the cars are even involved. Right. Because they instantly forget. It's like you forget their cars.
It's a party that just happens to have a race.
That has a race involved. And that was the thing. Like, I can remember all those years growing up with my dad, going up there to help him while he was towing cars and stuff like that.
Making the thunder down the hallway.
Yeah. This is, being DadPod, you might as well expect it. These kids are going to end up on one of these podcasts. You can go ahead and expect it. And guess what? We're not mad about it either, because those kids are the ones that saved and turned us into. God gave us those kids that saved and turned us around to who we are now. So
Absolutely.
I'll be 100%. One day I'm going to put Sophie on here and interview her. So
that's dangerous.
I know it might be. It might be. It might be, actually. But growing up, I remember I would talk to people about going up there and stuff, and they're like, "Oh man, you drink, you get hammered, blah blah blah." And it's like, no,
no, I was with a cop.
They've got. I was like, for one, my dad's a cop. 2, we're up there working, but 3, like, I'm watching have you ever watched the race? And they're like,
race is pretty dope.
I'm like, no, I didn't. No, I've never even. I've just always.
We bought tickets. We never went.
We didn't even go. We got too hammered and didn't make it to the race. The race is actually phenomenal.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, there's been a couple of years that it's with different aero packages, different rules packages. It's been a garbage product.
Oh yeah, my thing. Those cars, none of those cars equate to like. If you ask me, my favorite model that we had was back when I don't drink or anything, but that Budweiser number 8.
Yeah, the iconic one.
And that was 08, I think, was the year that, man, he ran some lap time at Daytona or Atlanta, one of the two, but Dale Jr. just, like, the car he had, but
there were numerous times he went out there and did that.
But mind you, they were also hinting around the fact that, like, his car was, like, 10-15% better than everybody else.
Yeah, every car's illegal.
what did you do? You know, it's like that was
listen,
more or
I
less.
listen to a lot of the podcasts. There's a couple of guys that, Dale Jr. owns his media company. He's got a couple of different shows with Denny Hamlin, the DBC guys, stuff like that. And the Dale Jr. Download have talked to a lot of guys growing up or guys that they watched growing up. Excuse me, let me re-say that. Even to today, talking to guys that have retired in the last 5 years, there's no such thing as a legal car.
Yeah. Well, because there's always some way.
There's always something being a certain way, and it's just a little out of specs, and maybe somebody overlooks. The optical scanner didn't see it. It's always just slightly illegal. And back in the day, before they got more advanced technology, they were probably really illegal that you could cover up with something special.
I remember the racing was better, but
I mean, I agree.
You know, it's like if I gave an idiot a 800 horsepower car, even if it was faster than everybody else's car out there, if he can't drive,
doesn't matter.
And that's one
you
thing.
Still got to be able to wheel that thing in there. I mean, you're right there on the razor's edge of chaos and control. So I mean, yeah.
Well, and when I had my GTO, I had if anybody remembers that.
If you're ever around that stupid thing, you cannot forget it.
No, you can't. It was so loud.
For no reason.
I ran 205 miles an hour in that car, and I've got. Oh man, Stephen Bunt. He was with me at one point.
Shout out.
We went
Friday night.
Love Stephen. We probably run 185, 190, something like that. But there was like 3 of us in the car. You know, like how stupid that was.
I also saw Alec Friday night. Not sure he was even aware that I was around. But
Alec Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was. I was gonna try to get him to come over last night or today, but he's got and us dads got so much going on. He's got a lot going on. You know, it'll be about. That's why I enjoy this podcast. So, man, I'll just catch which dad I can on the weeks when I can. You know, it'll be fun. And
speaking of which, you asked me about reaching out to our friend Zach.
Mm-hmm.
If everything would have worked out the way we wanted it to, he was 100% open to being here this weekend. But he said he was open to being on with us whenever. So if y'all want to try to shoot for this weekend, we might be able to do it.
Yeah, well, I'm down with that.
Just had to be anytime after 6. He's got to work.
Like Saturday after 6?
Friday or Saturday, something like that.
Oh, it'll have to be, for me, it's going to have to be. Well, I mean, I could do Friday nights. It just end up being late when I get off. Let's
just go ahead and shoot for Saturday. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. But yeah, that racing was just so much better back then because those cars would go airborne. And I remember the year they tried to put the spoilers on them. And while it seemed like a good idea going forward, when that car turned around at 185 miles an hour, that downforce all of a sudden turned into an helicopter.
Not according to NASCAR.
Well, I don't know what they thought.
NASCAR come out and said that the wing on the back of that car did not create the lift that took it airborne.
I think NASCAR bumped their head and they
don't
want to take the blame for it.
I mean, there's probably somebody a lot smarter that's closer to that situation that could tell me otherwise.
I don't believe it.
But I don't know how you take some angle that direction that creates downforce this way and flips around, how it doesn't create lift.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, but they said that was not the case. It was just freak accidents.
They're trying to make us think we're stupid.
Well, yeah,
we're not,
because they're not going to admit that we just put a freaking airplane wing on the back and it almost killed 2 people.
And practically right, because I know Carl Edwards was one of those guys.
Well, if you look at Carl Edwards, he got turned over. Car goes airborne, smashes the fence in Talladega, and then coincidentally, I think it was
the following weekend?
The following week, next 2 weekends, something like that, Brad Keselowski gets turned at Atlanta.
Okay.
You know, it looked like retaliation. They still say it's not.
Whatever.
You know, Carl Edwards goes and turns Brad, who coincidentally turned him at Talladega. He goes, car whips around upside down, creates lift, smashes into the wall, catch fence at Atlanta. 1, looked like it almost killed him. 2, it's not retaliation, allegedly. 3, NASCAR said the wing is not the problem. That's 2 times within just a handful of weeks. How do you not think that's a problem?
It's got to be. I'll never believe them.
I remember he was driving, I think it was the red Dodge at the time, before Dodge got out of NASCAR.
Oh,
Whenever he got turned and hit that wall.
Because you could get him.
I think it might have been the next year because he was driving, whatever the Carl Edwards thing happened, he was driving a limited entry car, driving that black number 9.
Yeah, because you could get him in.
So yeah, it had to have been like the next year when he signed with Penske, driving the red Dodge. He was in the was he in the 12 car at the time?
You could get one of those cars confused with Dale pretty easy.
Oh, I
Dale
agree.
Jr. I think it was Kane. One of them had the red car with his last name across.
Kane?
Casey Kane.
Casey Kane. I was sitting there thinking Big Red Machine Kane.
No.
But yeah,
WWE Kane. or WWE
But yeah, you're
Kane.
talking about the 9 that had the had the white 9 on the side?
Yes, and
It looked
Kane
mysteriously like the number white 8 on the
What do you
juniors.
mean mysteriously? Like,
know,
hey,
I'm
what are
just
you trying?
saying.
Like, now you see me, now you don't, kind of thing, like that. No,
Yeah, I
you know,
know.
it's like when they used to say Chick-fil-A wasn't misspelled, but now it is.
Don't
Like,
get me started.
look, not conspiracy theorists. We just look.
The Mandela effects are real, bro.
Look, they say it's conspiracy theorists, but I think what it is those people are just calling them out, and
Look,
they're
we
like,
can
no,
do
he's mental.
We can do a whole 3-hour thing on conspiracy theories and Mandela effects. That's something we need to wait for whenever James gets out and comes home.
No,
Dude,
no.
that would be the perfect content for people to listen
I'm
to.
gonna have James on 100%, but the fact that
We're
this kid,
going to open with Mandela and conspiracy
Oh, my
theories. With him,
goodness.
it's the perfect person to do
yeah, I
it.
know, but you don't understand. My brother will
No,
argue. If you tell
you
him,
don't understand how long me and James have had
No,
this
no, no.
argument going on.
I'm saying, like, I was talking, like, speaking as in third person, like, our listeners have no idea. Like, if you tell
That's
James,
why we do the episode.
like, there's a shoe that's in front of you and it's brown, he'll fight you and tell you it's green just because he knows it's making you mad or something. Like,
but in some
he's something
instances,
else.
if you tell him why it's not what he thinks, he's going to try to give you scientific evidence.
He'll shoot you over it if he has to.
That's fair. That's fair.
He's something else.
Dude, we have tracked way off subject anyhow. The
Yeah,
start of this
I
was
know.
supposed to be Sunday afternoons, and we have taken off down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, we have. That's easy though too. That's
Yeah,
typical for us.
It's too easy.
It's pretty
dangerous,
typical.
really.
ADD,
Yeah, severely.
maybe.
Real bad.
I don't know.
It is.
But yeah, I'd love to get him on. But yeah, the Casey Kane or whichever one it was that red Dodge car.
Yeah.
But the 9 looked just like.
Well, you had the 9. You had
and it was white.
You had the Abraham cars. You had the Penske cars, and everybody else. I want to say Brad was running the red 12 at the time, whenever he wrecked in Atlanta.
You know, this would be a good thing we could do with the video. And
But
stuff.
nonetheless, just they were like, "Oh, it wasn't the wing, and it wasn't retaliation. It was just a freak accident." Like, no.
Which driver?
It was Brad Keselowski
We're talking
got
about
turned at Atlanta.
Keselowski.
BK got turned at Atlanta, hit the wall because of the Car of Tomorrow wing, and I will say it was the Car of Tomorrow wing. You will not convince me otherwise.
I agree. We'll bring NASCAR on
It's
one
definitely
day.
an opinion of the piece. That way they can't sue me for what I don't have, but still.
When this goes big, we'll bring NASCAR on. I'll argue with I don't even know the dude's name.
I'll throw a rock at Darrell Waltrip.
I'll argue with Gary Daniels. Just kidding. I know he's not
What
NASCAR.
does that have to do with NASCAR at all?
I know. I'm gonna argue with Gary. Like, why are you gonna argue? He's football. He doesn't
He's gonna
even
go cuss out Vern Lundquist.
like burned it up. Yeah. So
That's
it was
it was a red
the
12.
number 12. And that was that's
Couldn't got a better shot.
I can't think. Oh no, that was
Oh,
really
you
good
want to talk
shot.
about
Like the sponsors.
You
were
want to
like,
talk about it?
yes.
No, you want to talk about a good one. It's not been too long ago. It's been within the last 10 years. Michael McDowell, I believe it was, turns over, flips at Talladega on the backstretch racing into 3. If you can look it up, you need to look at it because they have a picture-perfect shot of this car as it's going up, and on the back of the trunk lid it says "Play it safe."
Nice.
As he's flipping, I was like, man, that could be more picture-perfect. You want it to be.
Well, that's what I guarantee you. The sponsors, when Keselowski flipped and they got that picture,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
probably like, "Yes, thank you."
Everybody's going to buy motor oil today.
Who's hungry? Who's
Who
hungry?
wants the Goodyears? Them things ain't got traction on there today
I'm
for
buying-
nothing.
I'm buying dinner tonight.
Everybody just thought, look, he just spun out, so I need to go get some treaded tires today.
So what was that? That era would have been what, like 08?
Yeah, 08 to 2010, somewhere there in the ballpark.
So let me look at, and that was Sprint
Might have-
Cup still.
Yeah, that's back during the Sprint Cup days.
Man, that was that was the day for racing. I'm telling you. If you
Well,
ask me.
before the car tomorrow with all its BS designs, and
when they
then
rolled,
about the next 3 or 4 years after that, before NASCAR started getting real tight on the fighting and everything else.
look. I mean, if they let hockey players fight, like let the racers
Yeah, I
fight.
agree.
I mean, step in there if he starts swinging a wrench in his noggin.
Well, that's what NASCAR, like they got mad about it last year, but the fans couldn't have been more excited at all. It was whenever Noah Grax and Ross Chastain got into it last year in the pits. Noah walked up, started running his mouth, and Ross tried to tell him, he's like, dude, back up. He was like, back up, I'm going to hit you. And he kept on, and he delivered just a quick, solid right hand.
Hey, some of
Fans love to see it
yeah, they do.
because it's passionate. It makes the racing fun to watch. NASCAR, everybody's like, oh, they better not find him. And I know NASCAR looked at it. They ultimately decided, hey, it's a passionate sport. We're not going to say anything about it
Good.
this time.
Yeah.
If it would have happened 2 weeks later, I guarantee you somebody would have been fined.
Well, see, that's what gets. I think somebody who made a smart move was Tony Stewart, going on about doing like his own. he's taking he's trying to almost if you want to look at it like this, it's like UFC and BKFC or not BKFC, UFC and
the PFL and
like
everything
PFL
else.
and Bellator. You know, it's like you got these other NASCAR ain't never really had no other.
Not anything as far as stock car, what rednecks
Not at all. But I do believe somebody that can kind of bring it up though would end up being Tony if he does it right, because I've watched a couple of the races that he's put on at like North Wilkesboro and stuff like that.
Like the SRX series. But from what I understand is that he is looking at doing a true stock car series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think he'd do pretty good with it. Tony's been he's a guy that's been around it his whole life. Has probably more and probably has more haters than fans, honestly.
I mean, he's definitely brought that on himself.
He has, but his attitude in person and everything carried over to his racing and whatnot too. I'm not saying I was ever a Tony Stewart fan, but I do agree, man. Like that dude was always on all TM with everything. Anything that happened or whatever, he had a reason for it, and he'd tell you why, and he didn't care.
I will say this, I was never just an outright.
I respected him.
I was never just an outright fan of him. He come from open wheel racing, and that was my thing. I was like, he wasn't even a real race car. Right.
You know what I mean?
I was never for it. I'm still not a big fan of open wheel racing.
It's not NASCAR.
It's fast, they're fun, but it's just to me the competition's not the same. It's not NASCAR, like you said. But he come over, I've watched him, I never had anything against the guy. There were times where he was just needed to shut his mouth.
Yep.
It would have saved him so many problems.
Yep.
But he didn't. It is what it is. But at the same time, he still made it entertaining. I never got mad if he won. Championship racer, especially his last championship. It was fun to watch him start SHR and everything. I just wish he would have had a little bit longer of a career, honestly, because I think he would have been.
He could have been really good.
If he was still there today and he was still competitive, he would be great as the veteran old bad guy.
He would, and he honestly could have took place of being not the next Dale, not the next Dale
Senior.
You'll
never have another Dale Senior.
No, but he would have not the intimidator, but the aggressor.
Yeah,
maybe 100%. I don't know. He could have made his
own
own
thing.
thing.
I'm gonna flip you and I'm gonna laugh as I ride by.
He 100% could have made his own thing with it for sure. I think so. Kind of like what I think Kalen Debo was fixing to do with the University of Alabama.
Yeah, we talked about this a while back. I think we touched on it in one of the practice episodes or whatever. I'm still right now. It's February 24th, 25th. I still hate football right now.
Yeah, 225-24.
I'm still mad.
Well, that's one thing. All I had was football and whatnot to keep up with until I got in the boxing. I got in the boxing, and I always kept up with UFC and stuff. When I got into boxing, it was like I forgot about every other sport that I ever even liked watching.
And that's understandable.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like when I started. It's like with the drums and everything. If you're watching the video, like you see all the drums in the background, like this is stuff I've done my entire life. You have to give up when you get into the work life and you kind of forget about it. It's not that you lose yourself, you're creating yourself, but like you're like, man.
Then when you get old and fat man like me, you find different things like golf that you can suck at.
Well, oh man, speaking of golf, we went to Top Golf yesterday. And I'm sore.
Top golf's fun. What I'm saying is,
I didn't
you
have
go
fun.
play golf, it's a completely different ball game. You're like, how do you screw up hitting the little ball? Trust me, it's easy.
I didn't have fun. I couldn't even hit a ball past the 50-yard mark.
Hey, welcome to my life, dude. I suck until I get on the green. Like,
if I had,
bam, nailed it.
If those had been my own clubs out there, I would have broke every one of them. Because they make those clubs at Top Golf where people can't really, they're fiberglass, they bent, they flex,
They're supposed to flex.
Well, yeah, I know that, but it's like, they make theirs to where it's like, you can pretty much sling that thing into the ground and, it's durable because so many people use them, though,
right.
too.
And there's also a reason why a lot of people take their own up there.
Yeah, well,
it's kind of a douchey thing to do, but still.
You'll never see me bringing my own clubs up there for sure. If I bring my own clubs up there, I'm playing putt-putt.
I'm just going to chip it towards that big hole over there. Y'all don't hit right here.
Anybody got a windmill I can hit this ball through?
Stay away from the red hole. I'm going that direction. Y'all hit this way.
Where's the clowns at?
I watched Billy Madison. This is crap.
You're going to die, clown. Yeah, that's my thing.
No, 100%. One day you're going to come out to the course. You're going to play with me.
I'll play.
You're going to find out how bad you really suck at something that seems so simple because I've been doing it for a couple of years and I still can't hit a ball straight to save my life.
But every time I hit my golf ball yesterday, it did what the Ducks did. Every time I hit my golf ball yesterday, it did what the Ducks do in the winter. Migrated. It went the totally opposite direction
There
of
you
what I
go.
meant for it
Okay,
to
I
go.
was saying because the ball's supposed to go.
It's supposed
That's why
to go.
you got the big ass golf club that you swing and the ball goes.
It's supposed
You
to
said
go.
migrated, man. You didn't say north, south, east, west. Like for all I know, you're hitting straight dimes down lane.
Do you ever know which way the ducks are actually going?
Yeah, straight to the
don't.
ground because I'm shooting them.
Yeah,
I don't like them.
Well, I can tell you now, it's like a flip of a quarter. When I
Getting
hit
time for them stupid geese to come back, and I don't like them.
it's gooses. What?
If goose is geese,
Geese, goose, same.
why is not moose meese?
Well, because there's only one. What?
If a group,
Oh,
if a group of geese or a goose is geese, why is a group of mooses not meese?
I understand. I get it
I
now.
will argue that to the day I die. The English language is garbage.
I did not follow. It's like tomb and bomb, and
Easy, Gallagher.
they're spelled the same, but you can't pronounce them the same.
Gallagher was a little before your time. You didn't know who that guy was watching
I
that
know.
video, did you?
I mean, I never watched Shameless, but
No. Blood melon. Don't ask. Go watch the videos. Don't ask me.
I'm not gonna watch a guy smash watermelons. While
He
there's
told
poor
stupid
people.
jokes. You like stupid ass dad jokes. You would love him.
What'd you say? Did
You heard me.
you say a bad word in there?
Probably did.
You said a bad word. I heard that.
My bad. You like stupid dad jokes.
I do.
Watch him. You'll love him.
I do, but he's wasting poor watermelons while there's kids that could use them.
Dude, we
That's-
used to throw
that's
ice.
So
Whenever you had the little ice machine, we used to go spike it on the porch just to hear it
That's
make
water.
the weird.
it's water.
There's people over this world that don't have access to water. We were throwing it because it made funny noises.
That's a lie. If you chose to live in a desert, that's your fault. You knew there
What if you were
wasn't
born there? You didn't have a say so about it.
migrate.
What do you think they're
Start
trying to do?
walking.
They get halfway across the desert, they can't move
Go
because
the
they
other way.
dehydrate and die.
Go the other way.
What, to the ocean to drink the salt water and die faster?
I don't know, but there's water somewhere.
There's water all over the place. You can't drink half of it.
Look, I was watching this comedian. He
Are
was
you
like,
familiar with dysentery?
What? I was watching this video.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God, what was his name? Sam something? No. He screams a lot. Former comedian.
I do not like the guys that scream in their comedy to make it like.
I know who you're talking about, though. It's him. He was really popular back today.
It was funny.
He
He
died in a car
said,
accident.
"You don't want to." Well, yeah. Well, to be honest, he probably talked it up on himself the way he was talking about people starving in the world. But he was
You
like,
just said the same crap.
"Kind of, I know." But it was fun. You know, he was like, "We're gonna take all these groceries to the desert because there's people dying out there." He's like, "Why don't we move them here where there's not the desert?
It's taken to the place with trees and water.
Take them where there's
and animals."
food." You know, it's like that makes. He's got a solid point. But
I mean,
like,
be fair, like if you live in the desert, if you kill a camel, can you get his water, or is it just absorbed somewhere until he used it?
I mean, I'm not gonna drink no camel water.
I would.
I mean, if you're down bad enough,
I think I'd try it just for the sake of saying it.
you stab him in his hump and
Absolutely.
see
Don't
if
think
water
I
drink. You think it's like a legit camel pack, like you poke a hose in there and
Do
start
you
drinking?
know? We're
I
not
don't.
biologists by
I
any
don't.
means.
I also haven't tried it either.
And also, we could Google all this instead of speculating camel murder, but here we are.
But the fun part about this is that everything we've done so far has been just pure speculation. Like we've had no idea if it's
Yeah, and what I'm still trying to figure out is I know we're 45 minutes into this recording. We've got to be.
28.
Bull crap.
28
I feel
minutes.
like we've been here an hour.
I'm looking at it. It says
Anyhow,
28 minutes.
we have been here for 28 hours. We introduced ourselves 28 minutes. We have introduced ourselves vaguely. We said, welcome to the second episode. We have not introduced ourselves. They don't know who we are. We have not gone off of what we like to do on Sunday afternoons growing up to this day. We have been down a hole of idiots, NASCAR, conspiracy theories. What are we doing?
Who cares? That's the whole point of having a good podcast.
That's why I told you the description on this podcast should be it's everything under the sun and then some.
Well, like I said, I mean, I can change that.
No, I'm just saying, like I know we always start off with an idea,
Yeah, but it
but
never
it's
goes the
always
way.
going to go left or right really
Which
quick.
is
Kinda
awesome.
Like Earnhardt.
So I'm never very easy. But it's like I'm gonna stop titling the videos and wait till we get done and be like, what we talk about the most, and that's what we're gonna name it.
We should come up with random titles. I think the people would enjoy it. I think it'd be fun for us.
I agree.
You tap on it like drumsticks.
Yeah.
And then you're like, they didn't speak about a drum the
They
entire
didn't say
episode. That was
anything.
fun.
They didn't say anything about drumsticks or paper clips.
Dirt bike motor oil. What?
Like who? What?
Sure. Anyhow, they didn't even talk about it, but I feel more informed about NASCAR and a little bit more sure on a camel.
Low tire pressure. What?
Yes. Because it's what a camel would be feeling after a drink his water.
Low water pressure. He would.
Yeah.
He'd have low water pressure.
Maybe.
That's the name of this episode. It's going to be low water pressure. But yeah, I do miss. Well, I say I miss. I don't miss the way I was or who we were or anything. But like I'd give like a tenth of my paycheck to watch a video or two from my childhood.
No,
I would.
I wouldn't.
I want to see.
You know why? It's called incrimination.
Yeah, that's true. But I would pay.
We can still deny things. I mean, like you can tell stories to your parents now and put the legal part in, but still.
I say that's fun until like there were a couple times I was like, I wish I'd still just left that a secret. But like there was one time I remember I accidentally told my dad. Or admitted to it, but it was one thing that like he held over me for years, and neither one of us liked each other over it for so long. But it was like smashing those mailboxes, and
that's because you hit the side of the Sequoia.
Well, that's the part that I got over him on for years because I lied about hitting the side of that Sequoia for I don't know how long.
I don't know how he believed it because it was so obvious.
Yeah, I don't either.
The first time I saw the dent, before you even told me, I heard what happened. I was like, they missed the hit the side of the car.
I didn't miss. I hit that mailbox. I hit that mailbox. That mailbox was a lot harder than I thought it was.
It had a little bit of blowback.
That had a lot of blowback because that mailbox was metal, and it was a 9 or a 10-pound maul, something like that. It was a sledgehammer on one and an axe on the other because I wanted that mailbox to go.
That's how you rip a shoulder.
Apparently, that's how you put a hole in the side of your mom's car.
Clearly,
you live and learn. I also remember the one time that they called that morning when he got the arrest report, or he got the police report on somebody smashing the mailbox. He woke me up with it, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Why is my car sided into this?
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. And then it was like, he even says, so when, like, there was another individual, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're crazy. What are you talking? What are
you talking about? If you don't have video, you don't have it.
The mall is laying where you left it, because where I
it's just got extra paint on it.
Where I picked it up from, dude. This is how like.
Hey, was it the one with the yellow hammer?
Yes, the yellow handle.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your dad thought that was stolen for like 2 years. It was sitting at my house because we deboated it to bus firewood.
Well, good. It probably was evidence.
Oh man, didn't even make it one lap, and we're watered up in Atlanta.
Already one lap.
Racing into 3 and 4 is about a 6-car incident right now.
By the way, obviously, if you can't tell, this we've got NASCAR. He's got NASCAR going over there, but they're racing at Atlanta today. If you're not watching that, just throwing that out there. This is lap 1, and they're tangled up.
They're officially on lap 2 now, but yeah, racing into 3 and 4 before the conclusion of lap 1. We've got about a 6-car incident. Yes, and Alex Bowman's involved. Can't ask for better. It's a good day.
I miss
Alex Bowman wrecked Evans. Good day.
I miss the days when it was like, all right, 188 laps. See whoever finishes the last lap wins.
Oh man!
Even if it come down to Will Ferrell and some other
Noah Gregson, love it. Chance he's getting another opportunity this year. Got a really stellar looking car. It's the Black Rifle Coffee Winchester car. It's a good look. It's gonna be the second race in a week. He's been caught in the wreck. Anyhow,
I've thought, man, I'd like to have gotten into that a couple of times. Just trying to race
too, but it's hellaciously expensive.
Well, I know, man, it is, but if you just, like anything else we do, if you invest just little by little, you find you a car.
Yeah, we're also getting way too old.
Well, this is true. Well, that's literally a sport you can do sitting down, though.
Excuse me, they did complete lap 1. That was racing into 1 and 2 on the very beginning of lap 2. Sorry. I lied.
Check yourself.
My bad, dog.
Yeah.
My bad.
Better get it right. My viewers want to know our viewers want the correct information. Mind you, notice how I just fixed that because you're going to be, you want to know about the race? Cut it on. Never mind. But you're, the co-host of this thing.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it too. It's crazy. I've always wanted to get into podcasting, and I don't know why.
You think it's complicated? Try sitting over here controlling the knobs while you talking to that mic.
I mean, I think I could figure it out.
Oh, you could figure it out, but what's so funny is how fast you go either 0 to 10. I can't keep the microphone level without it. I
knew this the day that you put it on Facebook that you wanted somebody to do podcasts with. To be fair, I thought about messaging, but my wife decided, hey, Hunter never shuts up. You should talk to that
would
guy.
be perfect, yeah. I find it funny.
You have been around me. How old are you now? 28, almost 29?
I don't even know.
You'll be 29 this year, right?
I asked Morgan now. Yeah, I'm 29 this year. Well, it's so funny. I got everything adjusted where I'm like, man, I got it now. He ain't going to mess it up. And
how much money you want to put on that?
I mean, I wouldn't put money on it because I was like, man, hey, I got it kind of figured out. And here I am watching that thing go like it's so funny. I get almost instantaneously. I can tell when you get wound up because I can see the red flash out of my eye where I'm like, yep, it just clipped.
There it went.
It just clipped. I've got them turned. I mean, if I turn them down any further, we might as well do sign language on the video.
I only know 2 of those. 3. Sorry.
But that's it, man. The podcast stuff is pretty difficult. Obviously, if you can't, couldn't tell by listening, we struggle with topic sustainability, or maybe like how to get started, which we also don't care about because the more we do this, I don't either because it's just going to flow the way it's going to go.
To me, it's more entertaining. It's very hard to keep up with to a non-ADD mind. I will say that.
Oh, yeah, you get a normal person that looks at our title or something. Like, let's say I put on there, like, if we really did put on there, like, low tire pressure, they're going to get on there. They're going to listen for 45 minutes and be like, my tire is still flat.
What are they going to tell me how to fix the valve stem? This is crap.
I still haven't fixed my tire, and I just wasted 45 minutes listening to,
and somehow or another, I feel slightly dumber.
Yeah, I don't even know these 2 guys. And I just wasted 45 minutes of my life. This makes no sense because it will pop up like that on relative searches.
That's
what's
true.
funny.
That's true. I like it.
So I go get on YouTube and go like, why is my tire flat? And it's going to show me and you sitting in here like.
Front left screwed. Like, hey, bud, we'll help.
We're going to look like Steve-O's tattoo on the cover art. Like just 2 thumbs up. Like. I'll never get another tattoo. But I'm not going to lie. It was one thing I was like, man, if I was, which is why I'm glad I'm not stupid rich and I'm not a stupid individual. No. But I was like, if I did have money and was a different person, if I wasn't who I was now, I would 100% have that tattoo on my back. But not of Steve. It would be me doing the same thing.
If you're going to do it, like if you just want to be absolutely dumb, just get a picture of your face tattooed on your face is slightly off center.
Like droop, like bring it down on one side or something.
Have it perfectly framed over a quarter inch.
Oh my god!
Just so people are like, dude,
what's wrong with
his
face?
Look,
I clipped it right there. Like, what's wrong with him?
What's wrong with his face? What? Is that attached? No, I'm just blurry. Don't.
Okay.
Sometimes they don't load right coming out of the womb, and now I'm blurry. Shut up.
I get tattoos of pixels on my face. Like, why? His face is pixelated.
I'm in witness protection. Go away.
It's like, I'm so confused. He looks like an Android Photoshop.
He looks exactly like that guy from Cops.
He looks like an Android selfie.
He looks like the guy from Cops who didn't sign a consent form. That's him.
Oh, yeah. I got you. Yeah, back when that was funny. Those old cop videos, man, I'm not going to lie. I guess we're at 38 minutes right here. So we got NASCAR. Yeah, I know. So
if we could go back to the original topic and talk about what we used to like to do on Sunday afternoons.
Yeah, that too. Well, as a kid back then, I was always at my grandmother's in Asheville. We'd always go back and rip those golf carts and four-wheelers and dirt bikes up.
And then they made the great and wonderful mistake of bringing those golf carts to your dad's house where nothing but chaos and stupidity ensued.
But he'd get over it, too, because we had a lot of fun. I had a field goal.
It was all fun and game until the field goal post went away. I used to enjoy kicking on that thing, and all of a sudden it's gone.
I did, too. I remember the day it happened, too. I think it was Johnny and Justin on it.
It was Justin.
Yeah.
I know for a fact Justin was on it.
I remember watching him hit it, and I remember watching the steering wheel, like, impale David. Well, because, on those golf carts, you go forward.
Yeah.
And when he hit that, I remember the steering wheel. I was like, that killed him. That broke a rib.
He's dead.
They're so unforgiving, those golf carts back then. And they weigh, it is so unimaginable how much they actually weigh. Yeah. Well, you just don't expect it looking at the thing.
Excuse me.
But I remember so many times, like, almost flipping that thing. I remember one time actually flipping it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was going to stop rolling because of how, just the weight kept shifting.
So did you ever find out where the crossbar of your field goal post went?
I remember, I don't know where it went, but I remember the day it broke. Like, we built, for one, mind you, building that field goal post took 2 years off my life because I couldn't do anything right, and my dad was losing his mind. like trying to help stand that thing up.
I never understood where it exactly came from. I just know I passed by one day and there was like, hey,
It was
look, they got a
gone.
field goal post. Why?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
we popped it up out of nowhere. But remember, I was trying to be a kicker at the time. Whatever.
Yeah, I remember that. But
little fat kid out there trying to be the field goal kicker.
we were kicking.
We were
kicking.
I was probably sending them for about 40 yards. Yeah. Honestly, I could kick a field.
I used to come down there all the time and do it whenever y'all went home, just to give me something to do.
But they wouldn't let they're never going to let us kick a field goal. But
would have they ever watched?
If they would have watched us, man, we should have took them some game film. But anyways, I remember the day I broke it though. It was out there. It was one morning before the bus stop.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you 100%. You're drawing a false positive right there because I'm the one that broke it.
No, I remember I kicked one time.
It might have cracked it, but I'm the one that brought it down.
Well, it was like the following morning. My dad told me he said, let the glue dry because I thought he was gonna kill me. The next morning he was like, it should be good to kick. I was like, when you get home from school, I was like, I'm gonna try one before I get on the bus tomorrow. I was like, I'm
first
doing
thing in the morning, Bubba.
I nailed the crossbar and the pole come down.
Well, see, y'all must have fixed it.
Yeah, he did. He did put it back up, but
because I broke it.
I know. I remember it now. I remember it getting broke, but when I hit it, I just knocked it down because the glue wasn't.
Yeah.
Or we think, anyways, wasn't dry.
I just know that I was 100% the one that broke it because for whatever reason, me and James, we were still in high school, so we were obviously probably out earlier in the day or whatever. Well, we were come down there to pick you up for some reason at the bus stop, and I was sitting there. It was cold. God, it was like 20-something degrees that day. It was cold, miserable. I got out. Me and James were acting stupid as per usual, kicking the ball around, acting goofy. And I remember taking the ball and just kind of drop kicked it with the intention of trying to kick across it. And I hit that thing on a line drive, dude.
Yeah.
It hit that crossbar perfectly. And all of a sudden I hear it cracking.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
It didn't take much to drop it.
Well, I mean, like it busted the joints that were holding it.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever it hit the dirt, James was like, I just ran back, got in the car because the bus was coming. And I remember Will getting off the bus. We came to get you, take you up to the house or whatever. And Will was like, who broke the field goal post? I don't know, bro. It was like that when I pulled up.
The
thing. The same thing.
That's where it becomes, I guess I don't know, man. Like, there were so many times I would try to be honest and would still, I got the same treatment I did being honest as I did lying. So right. I was like,
you're going to get in trouble regardless.
So the way I seen it, the way, I only lie if I speak. So I'm just not going to tell you.
That's true.
And I was like, deal. In my head, I made ultimatum. I was like, okay, I'm not going to lie, but it's not lying unless you say the lie. So it was like, I'm just not going to tell him. When he asked about it, maybe a different story. But then that, it didn't matter if it was the lie or the truth. I was getting the same treatment. So I was like,
you broke it regardless. You're in trouble.
I remember the day Alex, well, and my dad, he still, I mean.
This story always kills me.
He kicked it from.
That's what I'm saying. It was just a sheer accident, and the kid wasn't allowed to come back to your house. Like, it just blows my mind. If
I pulled up on video and showed you guys where he kicked where he kicked the football from, you'd say there's no way it made it to the front porch. And he kicked it from. I mean, he punted the ball from probably 60 yards away or more. And mind you, when the ball hit the ground, it was still probably 30 yards away from the porch.
Goddamn perfect bounce.
It bounced like an egg, and it bounced clean up onto the porch, and it hit the floodlight just outside the door on trailers. If remember those.
We call that the porch light.
The porch light.
In most people's cases.
It's a floodlight. But yes, the porch light. But it's the little, just the little can light that was out there, and it shattered the glass on it. And but the bulb was still good.
Right, still worked. What's the matter?
That's what I thought too. Dad didn't think that way. So I left the bulb in there. We swept it up and everything. We're sitting inside, and I hear his truck pull up. Me and Alex are sitting there playing a game. We're like, all right, game time.
Here we go.
All right,
remember what I told you?
Get it together. Yeah, game plan. Like, what? Huh? There's a light out there? Whatever.
What light? It's always been dark. Where'd you put that in?
Like, what do you mean? Did you just put a light up out there, Dad? But
it's been dark for 10 years since I lived here.
We didn't even get an opportunity to lie because he opened the door and he goes, "Who broke the light?" And I was like, "We're screwed." He's like, we didn't plan on him figuring it out like that. He was like, "Yeah, well, y'all broke the light and left a glass for me to step on it." See, he went straight to that. It's like, okay, we broke it. And now you think we're gonna hurt you?
I mean,
like, why do you think I'm gonna try to make the situation worse? I cleaned it because I know you'd get really mad if I did leave it down there. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm going to clean this up before he gets home, and maybe we won't get in trouble. And then he's like, then you tried to clean it up and get away with it.
You tried to make it right.
You tried to make it right. And I'm like, well, I'm going to make it wrong then, and I did make it wrong
Next
for
time
like
I'll pee on it.
for like 14 yeah. It's like for 14 years I tried to do it wrong every day forever, and that made me so terrible as a kid. But
I will tell you, to the credit, I remember whenever your just I don't care kicked in, because you would do something stupid, and I just kind of look at you and be like, you gonna fix that?
No.
I'm gonna wait till he comes home in the morning so we can argue about it.
Yeah, literally.
Like, okay.
Because my other thing,
for the people that don't know, I will forever, like, if you're one of my people, I will forever follow your crap. Regardless of how I feel about it. If I think it's right or wrong, I will stand behind you 100% regardless. If you tell me, hey, I'm going to do this to make this person mad because they snapped off on me the other day for this, it's like, yeah, it's going to end badly, but let's go.
I'm more or less, it's like, I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's going to get good pay-per-view buys.
I could sell this.
Dude, I remember one time he shut my head. Nobody called DHR, by the way. I mean, you can't now anyways, but
Statute of limitations run out.
But here we go. Don't call DHR. Mind you, I am fine. I am A-okay because I do not do. Yeah, maybe not, but I do not raise my daughter this way.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah, easy over there, Bill Clinton. But I remember my dad closed my head in the dishwasher because I didn't angle the dishes right. Oh, real fast, mind you. Here we go again. Way off track from NASCAR.
I mean, it is what it is at this point, right?
Yeah. He shut my head in the dishwasher, and we were getting ready to go to a birthday party, and he was like, yeah, we gotta do this before we go, blah, blah, blah. So I was putting the dishes in there. He's like, you gotta lean the dishes over so the water hits them, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
mind you, he's got a big ass impaler. It spins and throws water everywhere.
And the first thing that hit my head was like, there's no way that water's not hitting anything in there.
Right. That's kind of what it's made to do.
And I was like,
a rack that's wider than just right here.
And I'm sitting there in my head like, you're dumb, and I'm just, you know what I mean? So I just keep going about it. I just keep putting them in there.
It's going to do me, boo. You come back later.
He's moving it, it leans a quarter inch.
Right.
I'm like, even when I shut it, who's to say it's not just going to sit right back up the right way? Well, he shut my head in that dishwasher and was like, you see it now? You see it now? And I remember standing up. Yeah. I remember standing up and kind of that state of like, I really want to swing, but I can't. For one, I'll lose this fight. Like, even if I know how to fight better than him, size wins. My dad was, even though I was a big kid, my dad was way bigger.
Right.
I remember looking down the hallway, and Alex is down there in my bedroom because my bedroom door was straight down the hall to the kitchen. Couldn't miss my doorway. My doorway definitely didn't miss that kitchen, I promise either, because I had knee problems growing up, ate so much. But I remember standing up, looking over the counter, looking down the hallway, and he looked like a chihuahua that just got beat. Like, he was scared. Like, he thought he was next kind of thing. And I was like, I'm fighting. At that point,
I'm not going to cry.
Exactly. I went straight.
I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because I'm upset. I'm going to fight. Go away.
I went straight from sad because my dad just got on to me to like, no, I'm crying because I'm trying to keep from like strangling my dad right now.
I'm going to beat him up.
Man, I'm going to beat my dad up.
He better be glad I walked away.
And what's so funny is Alex is sitting there probably like just trying to be a good friend, but like, you're not that bad, man.
He's sitting there going,
you ain't that tough.
He going to cry.
He's
going to cry in the car.
He's going to cry. He's going to cry, man. And I'm sitting there trying to play tough, And, he was like, man, do I need, I'm like, because his dad was at the jail and stuff too. His dad was a cop also, and still is a deputy sheriff. And I was like, yeah, man, no, man, it's fine. Like, it happens all the time. And he's like,
it's what we do.
I was like,
it's not abusive. It's every day.
This is Saturdays, man. But then we get there right when I thought I had a bad day. Austin Jenkins, and God rest his dad's soul, man. I loved Dennis.
Good old Dennis.
But I thought what I did was rough, and my dad was going to kill me. But I watched Austin wreck his dad's Sea-Doo into the side of his step granddad, or to not his step granddad, but DJ's, or not DJ, Dennis's wife.
Yeah.
Her dad's pontoon boat.
Oh no.
So all Dennis saw was dollar signs. Like, I've got to pay for that now, and it's not even going to come out of Austin's pocket. I was like, he's fixing to drown Austin. He ripped Austin out. But see, here's the thing. He straight turned. He was like, you're never getting on that Sea-Doo again, blah, blah, blah. He turns, tosses the keys to me and Alex. He's like, y'all can ride all you want. And I'm like,
big mistake. You don't even know it yet.
Well, the first thing that hit my head was like, you do realize we're friends with him.
I still would have got on it.
Oh, we did. Like, don't get me
sorry,
wrong.
bud. Nah.
But I cannot tell you, he was like, he still don't live that down. He's like, I still just can't believe that he got on to me, told me I couldn't, but let you two heathens
I wouldn't have won the
get on
record.
there. Well, that's what I said. I was like, I mean, we didn't wreck it. It was like,
You know what made it better? We didn't have to share with you.
but what I can tell you now, the first thing you don't expect when you get on a watercraft is like the braking.
What braking?
What braking, right? And that's what cracked me
Your
up.
braking is reverse.
The first time I got on a Sea-Doo, I remember I was like, well, you ain't got brakes on these things. It's not like you can stomp a pedal and it just stop it on the water.
There's a tiny tornado coming down the hallway.
Yeah, I hear it. But I remember, you have to use the gas to turn it, blah, blah, blah. So what he tried to do, this is what he was trying to do. He come flying in because we were all over at the pier.
He gonna throw that water on.
He's going to throw it sideways, spin the water. Well, he turns the wheel but lets off the gas and it just keeps going straight.
Crap.
It just kept going straight. And you just hear that. We heard that awful noise of just metal on metal. He had his girlfriend on there with him, slings her off, and she got ragdolled onto the side of that pontoon boat and everything.
She made it.
But like I said, instantly the first thing everybody thought about, they wasn't like, are those two kids okay? They're like, the boat. They're running down there like, the boat's broke.
The boat's sinking. Get out of the way, injured kid.
And then you got that idiot David Goggins.
Somewhere else. You're getting on the deck on the carpet.
And I can see that idiot David Goggins running in the background screaming, who's going to carry that boat home?
He's gonna show up now.
I'm going to carry that boat. I'll fight him. The problem is you can beat David Goggins in anything except a race. Or pull-ups.
No.
He does everything he does. Man, he says he does it for himself and blah, 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 blah.
Dude's got problems. He's running for something.
Blah. Yeah, he's running. But what gets me is he thinks he's so bad that, that's why he stood behind Tony Ferguson. He's like, oh, he been with me. I got this dog with me. I'm this and that. He really ain't. Yeah, I mean, he can run a lot. All that. But you are not God. He thinks he's God. He thinks he's God of himself, and he's not.
Something.
And he thinks he's something. I don't think he's much of nothing. Honestly, I really don't. Yeah, he talks pretty. He makes you seem like you can do it. But you can. Everybody already knows that. It's God you need to get, not David Goggins. Right. Starting with that. But what got me, it's like he was, did that 103 miles in a day or whatever. And he's like, I was peeing blood. My feet were hurting, blah, blah. Why did you do that?
Right. Who are you trying to prove it to, bro?
Right. Yourself. Even if you're trying to prove it to yourself, what did you prove to yourself other than besides that running 103 miles really hurts?
Kind of sucked.
Kind of sucked.
All I got.
Now, I get it. It's all a mental test. But that mental test did not come from...
Where does that even come from? Like, the mental test growing up, we were teenagers, like, I bet you can't hold your breath for 60 seconds.
Right. Stuff like that.
And now this dude's like, I'm going to run from here to Panama City.
Yeah.
Why?
And it makes... But what can you use... What did you get out of that? Now, I get... Yeah, it's like, well, it gave me a really good mental ground.
Yeah,
like if your heart's not in the right place,
like you're sitting there like, yeah, I made it 103 miles, but at the same time, like my knee cartilage is gone.
I'll every time I got through running, I get back to the house while I felt good and everything, I was like,
ow,
why am I running? And
right.
and yes, ow, but why am I running? Because it's I was having to box, so I need to be boxing,
right,
not running. And so whatever it is you're trying to do in life, that's what you need to be doing. For one, you need to be a believer in God.
Practice what you're doing.
And put God first in everything you do.
Absolutely.
And you will prevail. That is David Goggins' problem, is because he's doing everything for himself and not for God. If you will do it for God, it will stand. And that's where I am with the boxing. And I tell those guys, like, look, I mean, you have to exercise. You have to be physical for
right.
boxing. But I can tell you now, it doesn't matter how big and bad you think you are. I have fought. How many of those guys look bigger and badder than me when I boxed them?
A couple of them. Except for the first one I got to watch you watch in Pell City.
Yeah. No, you thinking the second one. The second one, yeah, he was nothing. But
what was his name?
Joshua Cox, who is actually in prison right now for attempted murder.
Right.
So isn't that a good thing I wasn't who he got mad at for beating him up.
You didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, well, he got back and was real mad. I bet somebody was like, you let that white kid beat you up? He just capped him.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't have to worry about it at Penn City.
I know. Trust me. That's what cracks me up is everywhere we went, it's like, I really don't know if the people understood the amount of firepower that was actually out there because...
They never checked at the door.
No, they don't. But everybody that came there, if you were there spectating me, like 62% had a gun.
We're going to fight you in the parking lot. They're not.
I'm just gonna tell you now.
Me and my boys have got you. Well, me and my 23 friends in this magazine said you don't.
I'm gonna say, I was like, I know he's got 20 something things that could change your mind. The guy next to him, being my new dad, Scott, was like, he's probably got at least, because he carries a 45, I think, or would have that day, and was like, he probably only got 12, but they're big.
Fat and slow wins the race, bud.
And I mean, as long as the punch. See, that's the thing, like if a Prius is running 100 miles an hour and it slams into the wall, I mean, it's gonna straight total that car. It's gonna ruin the car. It's not gonna do much to the wall. If a dump truck runs into the wall at 100 miles an hour, it's gonna destroy the wall and shut everything down behind.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got to compare those two at the same speed. If I can shoot with a 9mm, it's gonna go through some things.
Well, that's what I try.
It's not really gonna punch a hole, but you take a 45, aka the dump truck. Prius hits the wall at 100. It doesn't do a lot of damage. This truck hits the wall at 60. It does 40 times more damage than what that did.
Yep. That's what, size matters when you get to that point. But like I tell them with boxing, like, look, if I take a AAA battery and I throw it at you at like 10 miles an hour, it's not all that bad. I throw that same battery at you at about 90 miles an hour, it'll kill you.
It's gonna stink.
It's
gonna hurt.
It might kill you if I hit you in the right place. It's
gonna suck just a little.
And that's what I tell them. But now, to put that in perspective for you, call my hand the AAA.
Right.
If I throw this at 90 miles an hour, right, that's, or let's say I throw it at with 110% power, I got it at 90 miles an hour. That's all I could get.
Right.
A heavyweight could throw with 60% power and get what I put out.
And that's something I want to cover real quick. I think it's a good time to bring this up. I think you were fighting Cox that night, wasn't it? Wasn't it Josh Cox? Wasn't it his name? Or did I get that wrong?
What night? The night you were there. You're the only guy that was not a
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Joshua Cox. He looked.
Okay.
Yeah, he looked.
I just wanted to make sure I got the last name right. So, I come watch that fight. He never knocked you down, but you over pursued at one point in time before you won.
As every fight, I do.
I know, but he slumped you a little bit, and you bounced into the ropes. Do you know how mad I was at you at that point in time?
Oh, probably pretty mad.
And do you know why?
Because I got hit.
Because I've hit you
way harder.
50 times harder than that boy did.
Man, but
and you didn't react to it. Mm. He barely caught you, and you bounced to the ropes. Well, you better get your butt up.
See, I can pull the video up, and that's the thing, because I remember.
He caught you like your feet were close, whatever else.
That was the thing, though. I didn't even, because I remember when it happened, I was like, "You didn't even hit me, big dog." I was like,
he just kind of caught you in a bad position.
My
really,
feet were off.
But at the same time, I was like, "You better hope that's the case."
No.
If he hits you with that little baby and puts you down, like, come on.
I can tell you now, because I can a shout out to if he ever listens, but
they do have radios.
They do, but Brad Ginn, I boxed. He was my sparring partner. Got me ready for all my fights. Him and John Harris or Joe Harris. Shout out both of those guys. Both very good fighters. Brad is the one that taught me, for one, how to fight through when you're probably losing the fight.
Right.
And I was 100% losing the fight because Brad's he was like 215, 220 every time I boxed him.
Right.
Brad is also in the Alabama Hall of Fame for amateur boxing.
Nice.
He's also he's in Vegas right now. Just knocked this dude out in the first round. He's got I don't know how many belts, man. He's super solid. Super solid. But when guys like that have hit me, I know it.
Yeah.
But every fight that I've had, when they hit, dude, I didn't even know what punch I knocked the dude down with until the fight was over and I watched the video. Same thing with when I got caught. They asked me.
Just timestamp the yells. If you ever put somebody down, you should have known.
Oh yeah, you can see it on the audio waves.
Everything's cool in there.
And then bam, yeah. But I remember,
I must have knocked him down right here. Look,
Martin asked me after every fight, man. We get back there normally about the time I get my gloves and stuff off. He's like, "Do you know what you put him down with?" I was like, I don't even know. But every time I've said that, he smiles, kind of thing. But because he knows that's the thing. It was the whole point is so that I'm trained to where it doesn't matter what I throw.
Also,
it's gonna work.
Shout out to Martin. I watched the video yesterday that y'all shared
PD Fight Club,
about the PD Fight Club and everything else. Shout out for everything y'all are doing. Also, did not know he was a 2-time Gold Glove champion.
Yeah, I thought I told you.
I didn't know that. I just knew that he obviously enjoys boxing, took time out to go start a gym.
Yeah, no, man.
But didn't know that.
Yeah. So, mind you, anytime I've ever looked for a coach, obviously I want him to have some kind of experience or anything like that. It's like if I was getting math tutored from somebody that failed math, You know what I mean? Well, had to be all right. So my
That's
older,
like asking me for anything to do with math.
so my older sister Chris used to think, because biologically it's not my sister. He's my brother. I just
We'll get into that in a later episode.
any whatever. My older sister Christina.
We'll change the name and everything. I like it.
I'm just tearing him apart, man. I ain't got no reason to. I should love him, but he I don't even know where I'm going with this now because I'm just.
We were talking about fighting and coaching. Yeah, I think you were probably going to go down the road
with him training Alex.
Where he got Alex totally wrecked in Panama City.
Because Alex could fight, and Alex knows how to fight.
Alex could fight. Only thing it needed was from some refinement. Your brother-sister thing, whatever you want to call him, I don't care. It's whatever you want to do. You're a thief. I don't care. Couldn't fight, never could. Grew up whooping him all the time, watching him get whooped on the bus, in the front yard, whatever, trying to act bad because he was always bigger than everybody but couldn't back it up with anything. No business coaching nor fighting inside of a cage or ring or whatever. And Alex got knocked stupid in Panama because he followed him. And that's the first thing I asked Alex when I found out he was fighting and Chris was his coach.
Yep.
You're going to get hurt. Why are you doing this? Well, he's helping me. No, he's not.
I remember get kind of ripping into Alex about it too. But it was more about, man, like I said, I should love him. He's got problems. That's why he was the way he was. He's got issues, as we all do.
Yeah, but getting a right foot across your face and having to go in the hospital definitely doesn't help.
No. But he just, man, he had trying to coach Alex and stuff. But like Alex was saying, I didn't have. Who else was I supposed to ask?
Literally anybody else.
Well, and I had the same. Now,
ask somebody from the Waffle House. They got better experience.
I said the same thing, but when I started looking myself, I was like, I know how that happened now.
Right.
Because when you want something bad enough,
I
you
agree,
don't matter.
But you got to do the proper vetting. You can't just jump up to the first one you see and go.
While that's being said,
that's how you get hurt.
That's exactly what I did though. And because I remember I was training at the gym. I guess now we're at an hour. Okay. But I started training at the gym here in Pell City. It was Mission Submissions, and it got closed down. For one, that already sounds sketchy.
I remember all this.
But it got shut down for kidnapping, right? Everybody probably knows that story. I don't care. I don't know if I can get sued for talking about it.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't put no names in that.
They know the name, so I ain't got to.
That's fine. They can look it up accordingly. I wouldn't give anything
Google
to that.
But anyways, it got shut down. I mean, it's public.
I agree, but still, defamation away.
You're right. You're right. But I was there for kickboxing and jiu-jitsu and stuff, but I didn't care. I didn't want to do jiu-jitsu. I wanted to box.
Right.
But they practically made me, if they were like, if you're gonna box, you got to do jiu-jitsu too. And I was like, watch me. I was like, see that, because the first day y'all let me fight, I'm gonna not do jiu-jitsu.
I'm gonna do everything I can to just so hit his hands.
And but I ended up there, and they had a guy, the coach there kept hyping me up, trying to get me set up for fights, blah blah blah, and kind of blew me off and everything. Not long after the fight, or the gym shut down and all that good stuff. And I was on the boat with it did, but I was on the boat with Scott, and this is why I'm saying, I practically did the same thing. I was on the boat with Scott and them, and I was talking about, the gym shut down. I really wanted to fight, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I went with, I used to date this girl in high school, and she runs, she has a boxing promotion. He was like, you ought to.
Also used to be at EMT, too. A lot of people around me know her.
Right. So I was like, yeah, let me, I'll shoot her a message. Oddly easy.
Is that how y'all actually found out?
100%.
100%.
100%.
No, I didn't know that.
100%.
Did not know Scott was the liaison there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And so I got in touch with her, and she
Scott's
sent me.
new dad, by the way, if anybody.
And she sent me to Tuscaloosa to Deontay Wilder's gym to spar a pro that had fought on her card a couple of times to see, how I did.
To basically go get whooped and see if you were
Pretty
able
much
to stand the test.
And I left out of there with, I could knock him out. That was the text message she got from him. It was a really good boxer, too. It was Andre Harris. He was like, man, it's a tough white kid, man. Couldn't put him down. He tried. That's all I learned, though, was that I was tough. Andre did what he could with the time and money that I had to try to teach me what he had. But, you have to pick between you going to spar or you going to hit the bag. And I need to. I'm only down there an hour, so I'm going to have to take which one am I going to do? So, I mean, I needed sparring more than
Right.
anything.
Well, hitting the bag didn't prove anything. Go in there and
No, it
fight
didn't.
somebody that's got them hands that really knows what they're doing. That proves every point you need.
But she got me my debut, and it wasn't long after that it was like 2 weeks before the fight. I had no coach.
That's about right.
Nothing. I had that fight lined up,
Yeah.
but no coach. And I was passing by Juarez Boxing one day, and I remember.
It's crazy. I've as many times as I've been right past that place.
Didn't
Until
know
you went there, I'd never known it was
Didn't
there.
know it.
Never would have known it.
I blew up his phone. It was over the weekend. He wouldn't answer. Blah blah blah. I was blowing
Who
his
is
phone.
this?
I'm
Who
sure
is
he
this?
was, because the thing is
How did he get my number? It needs to go away.
I got it from the business card he left on the front door. So, but the same thing.
He's gonna take that down tomorrow.
When I started working there, though, I told him a real fast side note. I told him, I said, "See, you messed up when you watered this stray dog."
There you
He's
go.
like, you should know better. You
Keep
never
feeding
feed
the
a
dog,
stray
he's coming
animal,
back.
and he's gonna come back. I've been back every day since. But he started paying. I
Right.
started working for him. But it wasn't until I started working there that I understood that I was like, man, every phone call you get, the guy sounds the same.
Right.
Man, I think
I'm trying to make my
I'm trying
way.
to do
I'm
this,
trying
or
to
I want
start
to do
off, need
this.
you.
Like,
Yeah, I
I'd
get
say
it.
a good 30% of the phone calls are like that. The other
Yeah.
percentage are going to be either parents looking for it for their kids, middle-aged people trying to get fit, but without just pushing weights or
Right.
doing stuff like
Something
that.
that's fun to do. It's not
Something
just beating
fun,
weights in the gym.
right? And then obviously our Parkinson's
Obviously,
patients. and
PD,
stuff.
man. Like I said, shout out.
It's awesome, man.
It's amazing.
So, I found Martin, and I begged him, and he took me, and he was like, hey, you fight this weekend? I was like,
He's like,
yeah.
you'll fight if I'll coach you. Will you shut up?
I begged him, though. I told him, I said, look, I know you hear everybody say this. I said, but I've already got it lined up. I mean,
Right.
like, I'm fighting this weekend whether you
I'm
come
doing it regardless. I just want your
whether you show
your input, bud.
whether you show up with me or not. I'm just wondering,
Right.
could you just teach me this weekend? Whatever.
Teach you whatever you can. Crash course real
For 3
fast.
days.
Bro. Come
Yeah,
on.
let's crack. When he made me shadow box, and then he stopped me. He was like,
No,
it looked terrible. And I know it did, but I told him, I
Right.
was like, look, I have the heart for it, but I don't have the skill.
I don't have the knowledge.
And then what was so
The skill's
funny,
always there. It's just got to be refined.
but yeah, you got to find it. And he really didn't want to do it, man. And I didn't know if he even wanted me to walk out with their shirt on, but he was like, would you? I was like, yeah, I don't mind. Absolutely, man. I go out there, I look terrible, but I win the fight.
I'll say
It
that's
took
a
all
win.
4 rounds.
Yeah.
It took all 4 rounds. But after
Unfortunately, I
that,
had to work that night. I remember your mom texted me. It was like, hey, I know you can't make it. Nick's about to fight. I'm shaking like a daggum leaf in a hurricane. I'll let you know how it goes. I remember getting the video at the end, like, hey, Nick won by KO, or was it TKO, whatever.
TKO. Well, all 5 TKOs.
TKO, KO, same damn thing,
Yeah.
really. I mean, because you still get the 10 count in boxing unless it's outright postured up, whatever.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying. But I just remember her going, I'm not doing this again. Nick won. Here's the video. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. But she's been to every fight after that.
And hated every second of it.
It's a
She
love hate.
supported the crap out of you, but hated watching you do it.
She didn't want me to. She was worried about me getting hurt. And that's another thing though too. I was like, well, I don't want to keep, but she wanted me to keep. She wants
Right.
me to keep boxing and wanted me to keep boxing
Right.
too, because I could use it as a platform for God too. But being a family man, I want to be on a platform for God on the home front, not on
Right.
the TV.
I get it.
And
Do it
it's
for
just
personal reasons, not for
it
popularity.
means more that way.
I
If
agree.
you're doing it, if you're trying to do it for money, you'll lose 100%.
Joel
Why do you think Mayweather keeps having to fight? Because I know he probably gets a lot of money, but I feel like the dude might have to keep fighting to be able to pay for the things that he's so in debt for.
Yeah.
And could be wrong.
That's
I don't know.
That's an
Don't care.
expensive lifestyle. I don't think he's in debt to nothing. It's just
What he has to pay
big
for
purchases all the time.
all the time. And my thing, I didn't even want to have. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know if God gives you choices. But the way I saw it was like God was kind of giving me a choice. It's like, look,
I think
you can compete or you can be a coach. Either way you do it, if you do it on a platform for me,
Right.
it'll stand. But both have
I always
their
think that he gives you the idea of what needs to be done, but he gives you the options of which way you need to go.
right. Because here's the thing, like, I believe he would have supported me if I stayed competed. But I also don't, it's like, does he agree with
Right.
the sport? Because it's
agree.
malicious. But
No, we've talked about this before.
yeah, I know
It's an
not,
art form. It's not
It is.
malicious. It's not like you're going
It
out
is.
just fighting people on the street to hurt them.
You're right, but it reminds me though,
I
too,
know, but
like
it's-
Coliseum days though.
Well, Coliseum days, the goal was to kill the guy across from you.
I'm gonna be
That's
honest with
not-
you.
I get
Although I
where
don't
you're
want to hurt the
going with
guy,
this.
I fight him the same way.
I know, but if you kill him, it happens. But it's not the intention. It's not blood sport. A lot of people will argue with that,
Mm.
with you on that. But to me, fighting in a controlled, trained environment is art.
I may be speaking for a lot of boxers, and I may be speaking against all of them.
Now, I'm not saying that there are some boxers that go in there with the intent of trying to rip that dude's face off, but a lot of them go in there to do it for the love of the art, especially the ones that have made it popular. They go in there for the love of it, the money of it, and doing what they know to do.
I can tell you now, a huge reason I wanted to get into it was because I got tired of getting hurt by other people.
Right.
Or the world hurting me, or
Sorry.
just in general. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is like the boxing was a way for me to be like, honestly, I wanted to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But
I can get that.
I didn't have any person. It's like, but I wanted to do it right. But you can't hurt anybody and do it right, because if you're hurting them, it's not right.
Right.
And that was one thing I was like, man, like I want to hit him like I hit that bag, because I know if I do that,
I'm trying to land that hard hook.
It's
over.
over.
Watch him just boom.
It's over, because every hook I've ever landed has stopped it, pretty much. But I couldn't. It was just a tough decision. But I felt like it's like, look, it doesn't matter either way you go, I'm gonna stand with you. But I felt like I made it's like, look, one route's gonna have a lot more gambling involved. Like you're gonna have a lot more coming again. Doesn't mean the coaching route's gonna be easy either. Right, but I do believe that going the coaching route is going to keep me away from.
The coaching route keeps your jaw from hurting the next morning.
That too. Well, one thing. What I ain't even gonna knock on wood because I'm not superstitious. God's the only reason I never really ever got. I never got bloodied. I never got popped in the jaw where it hurt the next day to eat.
I'm just saying, it hurt.
The only shots I ever only took that bothered me, but it was because I made sure because I didn't want to get hit in the jaw because I wanted to eat. I kept my chin down, but the only shots I ever took, I woke up the next morning, was the temple shots.
Oh, duh.
That was the ones.
It's like a direct shot to the brain.
But it didn't matter if blocked or not. Those were the ones I woke up the next morning. I was like,
that's a weak spot. That's a very weak spot. I mean, the front of the head's pretty strong, but that right there is fairly weak.
And I got hit in the back of the head a couple of times. Brad, again, and it's not his fault either.
No,
Brad's a very clean boxer. The thing is, if you're moving your head a lot, like you're gonna get hit somewhere, and it may not be.
Trying to take your head off your shoulders. You're moving it. It's gonna happen.
It wasn't intentional. None of that. But man, I gotta say that was probably the worst shot I'd ever took because like it hurt all the way down to my feet.
Yeah. You popped them nerves, big dog.
I couldn't move, man. Honestly, I was like, he just potatoed me.
Oh.
But that, they made me get out. Cause I got up for the 8 count and all that stuff, but they made me. They were like, "Did you get hit in the back of the head?" I was like, "Oh yeah." And they made.
No, in full good and well, something wrong. Like, you good? Yeah.
They made me get out because they were worried that I got hit in the back of the head and they didn't want it.
Concussion.
Worried it might have concussed me. Yeah.
Probably did.
And didn't want me to. And may or may not. I don't know. Be totally honest with you. I have yet to take a shot to the head like I have growing up as a kid or like in that car wreck to where. You remember, every shot I ever took that caused a concussion, there was a white flash involved.
Yep, been there.
I have not had another white flash since childhood.
Makes sense.
I think that's a good thing, though. One or two things.
100%. You're not supposed to see lights.
I've either calloused up my forehead from taking too much.
Not how that works.
I know.
That or the CTE's really disabled some things in the front there.
Yeah.
The light doesn't happen because the light switch doesn't work anymore.
It's like, no, my lights are on. There's not anybody at the house.
That's fair. We left the lights on, but we all went somewhere else.
It's like he left his front porch going. I left my Christmas lights on my front porch.
Left the front light on, and some kid knocked a damn lantern off of it.
I did not. And like I said, I might as well have been the kid that broke that light too, because I had to sit there and deal with it afterwards.
That's true.
So,
well, I think it's about time we should probably wrap this one up. But I do have a question real quick. The fight's coming up in April. They're up there in Gaston, right down the road from me. Are we going?
I do believe we're gonna go. I may end up
There's a couple guys there I want to watch. AJ's coming down here. He's fighting somebody. I believe he's putting his title on the line. It's not against Shaq. I did verify that. I would like to see Shaq fight again after he fought the guy that you had fought last time. That was really fun watching him run his mouth to that guy.
Yeah.
Probably, I got to imagine Haney's probably not traveling back from Missouri anytime soon. If he is, then, we got to find somebody to fill that card.
Shout out. But, like, my thing is, shout out to
nice guy.
I really did enjoy talking to Haney after the fight because every boxer's just got this aura about them that it's like, don't talk to me unless you want to. Like, I'm this and that, blah, blah, blah. But almost immediately, man, like his
Real friendly.
his attitude was
like
unmatched.
I don't know. You fought him twice, right?
No, I only fought him once, but he fought Shaq the next
That's
fight.
right. The last time he fought Shaq, he still spoke to me because I came whenever you watched him.
And he came up. His brother was over there next to you.
They were at the door when I came in there. I was like, "What's up, man? It's good to see you again." Everything.
Hey,
they were
so, dude. They're so nice and
solid dudes.
I could not applaud them more for that. But that's why I kind of lost. Like, I love Shaq too, but I was like,
I feel like there were some things
there
going
was
on
something
Facebook
going on
somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
Them two had some bad blood.
Maybe.
Super entertaining, I will say that.
I bet.
You know, I don't know how much of that you got to watch.
My thing, once the fight's over with, man, I'm in a daze.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how much of that you got to watch. It was super entertaining to watch them two back and forth in the ring. Yeah. Probably shouldn't have stood over him like he did, running his mouth, but nonetheless. But I am excited to go watch him. I think there's one more coming back that fought on that last card, too. I feel like his fight got cut short, maybe.
What I might do is see if she'll let me, maybe not video it, but come up and, maybe we can podcast on it.
I don't know if she let us podcast on it, but she can't stop us from talking about it the next day.
No, sure can't.
Just saying.
We'll figure it out.
But either way, so we're looking forward to it.
And I have this app.
Once we start putting this out, start getting some people's attention, anybody that wants to come out, hang out, see what we're about, see how we do things, hang out with us. If anybody's listening to this and is close to the Alabama-Gadsden area, April 6th, I believe it's April 6th, somewhere around that ballpark. We'll verify that next weekend.
She ain't paid me for advertising yet, so I ain't looking to get the proper details.
I'm just saying it's
stop talking. She's paying for that.
Shut up. It's gonna be that weekend somewhere around that ballpark. The venue at Coosa Landing. Come out and see the Dad Pod guys as we watch some fights and watch some good guys and see how that turns out. You people have a good evening. Let's go find some dinner. I'm hungry.
God bless everybody. We'll catch everybody on the next episode of Dad Pod. Take care and God bless.